Hi, my name is Shea Fidyk, and we decided to do our project on History 30, Canadian Studies. Both of our teaching areas are history slash social studies.
Hi, my name is Rhiannon. I would like to acknowledge that we are on Treaty 6 territory and homeland of the Métis, and I hope you enjoy our project.
Our course outline focuses on several different things. One of the first ones is a Sunday Kahoot participation, which is worth 10% of their grade. And every Sunday, students will be asked to join into a Kahoot that reflects on that week's material. We also have definition diary, which is worth another 25%. And with this one, throughout the course, students will be required to keep a definition diary that will be handed in at the end of the course. The weekly exit slips count as 25% of the student's grade, and all course content will be accessible through the class's custom Google website, and students will be asked to reflect on a weekly content. We have exit slip peer feedback with another 10%, and students are encouraged to respond to a minimum of 2 peers each week on the module exit sleep. Oh my god. The final project will be worth 35% of their overall grade, and it will be mostly focusing on a historical timeline, and students will reflect back on the entire course.
Okay, so the entire course is delivered online through Google. So we use Google Docs, Google Websites, Google everything. So that way it's accessible the same on every phone. And then the students can access like all documents or anything they need at any point of the week from the main Google website. I have made a lot of Google websites in the past, and it's probably my favorite platform to create something like this on because of how user-friendly it is. So we basically took all of the information from our paper and just inserted it into what the main page of our Google website for our students would look like so that you guys would have an idea of everything. So I talk about that more in the technology part of our assignment, and you can read through it if you want. What's so nice about this is that all of the students and the teacher have access to the class at all times through the main website, so the teacher can give continuous feedback, and the students, if they have busy lives, can access the course content whenever they need to. I talk about that more in the interface design of this, which you'll also be able to look into. Sorry about that last part. Anyway, so Google Websites is accessible from any device. You can use it on a tablet, phone, computer, really anything, which is also super extremely handy for the students as well as the teacher. For our project, we have a link to the website itself that our peers can look at and scroll through rather than just watching the video, as well as just a paper on its own so you can see how we inserted everything.
This course will be funded through the school division by the government because it is a necessary high school credit that is needed to graduate. The course outcomes will be determined by the Saskatchewan curriculum, although the teacher will have his or her creative freedom when designing the projects and assignments. The funding for these programs is already a factor because other classes already use them. Students will be expected to have a computer, smartphone, iPad, basically any sort of device that will allow them access to the online Google. Since History 30 is a class that is needed to graduate, it will be already factored into the students' schedules. So either they can receive a spare where they can go online and work on it on the class, or they can work on the class at home. This course has a very high standard of quality because it is a necessary class to graduate, and students must meet the outcomes put in place by the government and their teacher. This course will be managed by the teacher, and the teacher will supervise all online participation that occurs, and the teacher will also facilitate discussions and provide feedback to all students involved. This course will be graded, and the students will pass and or fail based on the grades awarded for their work. Students will have due dates, but they will also be able to work at their own pace. This course is self-directed, but the teacher will be available at all times. Resources will depend on student outline objectives. The teacher will supply online links to material that relate to the students' objectives, but the students will also be responsible for finding their own resources and for using them in a way that enhances their own individual learning. The Canadian History for Dummies by Will Ferguson, either the online or the printed version, will also be very helpful in this course, but it is not required.
So throughout this course, weekly exit slips have been implemented as both a student assessment and evaluation. So basically, at the end of every week, students have to give a little blurb as to where they're at in the course. This gives them an opportunity to ask any questions, and then peers could also answer the question if they know the answer, and the teacher can provide simultaneous feedback and stay on the same page as the students at all times. That way, everybody's always engaged. Evaluation in an online course is extremely important because there's not that personal connection that you would get in person. Teachers can't really get to know their students on the emotional level that they could face to face. So ensuring that the students and the teacher are engaged at all times through all the entire course content, including all assignments, any discussions, and making sure that the students feel free to ask any questions when they have is extremely important for the success of both the teachers and the students throughout the course. And if you scroll down, you can see a little side note with an image carousel above it. The image carousels can be utilized as a tool through Google websites, and you can use them for notes so students can scroll through the notes directly from the course's main website. And then you can also highlight anything that students might need to know throughout the week, so it can be used to update students and stay in contact with them. And the image carousels can be added to the website at any point in time by the teacher.
We found that cultural diversity is less of an issue with online courses because everyone is behind a computer screen. And for anyone with special needs, that this should be a consideration prior to signing up for this course. In high school, students with more special needs are often supported in person, so this is much harder to accomplish in an online setting. One of the challenges I found while working with this online course was that you really have to condense everything. It's not like in an in-person environment where you get to ramble on and do lots of mini assignments. You have to be very short and to the point. And this also was a core learning for me because I'm used to having lots of time to ramble, and I make lots of personal connections to the stories and the history lessons I have. Another thing I learned was you have to be very flexible with an online course. A lot of the times the things that I saw in my mind that I wanted to do, it wouldn't have played out well online. So you really have to firstly see what you can possibly do with an online setting, and then take your own creative thoughts and try to put them into an online setting.
Something that I really learned during this assignment as well as the course was the effort that actually goes into designing an online learning course. I've always just given the bare minimum and been in and out with online learning courses, and it's kind of sad that my 4th year I'm finally starting to develop an understanding and respect for online learning courses. But I'm glad that I learned it now because, especially in the times that we're in, it might come in handy. So I think I learned the importance of discussion. I can't imagine teaching this course without having the students engaged in discussing at all times. Lastly, the big challenge that I found was that me and Shea had to do this apart. We found it difficult to collaborate when she's 4 hours away, so we had to find a way to do the assignment online, which Google also came in handy for because we could do it simultaneously, working from our homes. It was also really difficult for us to incorporate everything into the course content and make sure that this could be a really good base building block to developing an online History 30 course. But all in all, I hope that it would work out and that you could use this. I hope you guys enjoyed our project, and if you have any questions, don't be scared to reach out, and thank you.